There we go. All right. We're in business. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening to those far, far away. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a historical fiction author and an eclectic reader, and you're on Booktube. So, welcome to my humble channel. I had a fun idea that has taken a really long time to incubate. That was about the oldest books I own that are still unread. So that's what I will be covering today in a sort of a funny, silly way, because that's what I think we need right now. So yeah, I've got a stack of 10 books. I'm going to go through the books. I'm going to give you an update on the thermometer, which is tweaked right there. I'm going to give you a teaser for an announcement on Patreon. We'll go through the 10 characteristics of these books that I'm trying to see if there are any commonalities among, and then the 10 books themselves. And then I will ask if anyone has heard of any of these, except for the 3 that I know people have heard of, and whether I still retain my crown of Queen of Books You've Never Heard of. So that's the agenda for the day. And hello, chat. So hello, Cat Paw. Hello, Julie. Reacting to my thumbnail, which is a very judgmental sea lion, seal. I don't know. I thought it was a seal, but I don't know the difference. So I'll go with sea lion because you live closer to the ocean. So you must know. Probably no Bean cameos today because he's pretty comfy where he is. Lynn, Mad World, salut tout le monde. I'm happily sipping away on one of my teas, which we heard about last week. Arrived yesterday, the Ki-Moon Black Tea, and have just started The Correspondent, which was on hold for a while. Very cool. That's a very hyped book, so I hope you enjoy it. And we've got a request for Knowledge Bank. Anybody on video editing software that is free? So if anyone has ideas for Cat Paw, plunk those in the chat. Hello, Anita. Good afternoon. Yeah. So, and happy Friday, everybody. So yeah, I'll go over current reads at the end too. So no question of the day today, but if you want to throw in your current read as who just told me they're reading The Correspondent, Lynn has done, then feel free. So, draft to digital update. Big thing. It's been on my list for a long time. I realized when I was trying to consolidate things that I had 2 draft to digital accounts. One was connected to my Smashwords account, and one was connected to my draft to digital account because they merged. And they didn't have the same logins, so they were separate. But I went through a few rounds with the customer service and then figured out how to do it, and then screwed myself up to do it, expecting more rounds of stupidity. And it actually worked. So surprise, surprise. The first time I did the merge, it worked, which is amazing. So I have one draft to digital account, and it's now at like $21. So my goal is 100. We're further along, but if you want to help me get to the goal of $100, buy my draft to digital anniversary. The books are all on sale, 75% off. I have 7 books in ebook format, and some are in paperback, and they are linked down below in the description. So if you want to help me along towards that goal, feel free to drop something else in your ebook library, because you'll probably never see it again, right? That's what happens with digital libraries. For me anyway. Yay. So that is the update on that. I'm very glad that I did that because it was just something silly that like cluttered up my to-do list brain. All right, so that's the update. The teaser is that I'm going to have an announcement on Patreon, and I wanted to draft it yesterday and I didn't get to it. So hopefully I'll do it today. It might be out today. It might be out tomorrow. It's big. So just heads up, there will be something on Patreon that you might want to keep your eye on for next month. And away we go. So I've got this stack of 10 books, and they are the oldest books on my owned shelf, right? So I look on Storygraph and I look on owned books, and these are the earliest 10 ones that show up, oldest added, that I have not read. So several of the oldest ones that I have read were Jane Austen books. I took those off because I have read them. But these are what you might call TBR veterans, or what was the other word people were calling them? TBR vets or ancient TBR. So I should probably put those hashtags in my description later. So we'll just go through them. You've seen some of them before because I've uploaded them for thumbnails previously, but some you have not. So I put them all in the thumbnail, but they're very small, so you might not be able to tell what they are. And since I already mentioned Jane Austen, let's start with this one. I'm going to go through the characteristics first and then the books, because what I thought would be fun is if I went through the stats on these books, right? So what Storygraph provides, and then a few others that I've made up myself. So the first category I'm looking at is genre. Is there a genre that I just have and don't read? Look at genre. Some of these have more than one genre. I noted more than one. I looked at provenance. So what's the source? Where did I get it from? Did that have meaning? Is that why I've held on to it, but I don't want to read it, etc. Sometimes I even still have the tags and the bookstores that I got it from and the price. So that's kind of interesting. Language. So what language is it in? A little bit ago, I definitely did a bit of a declutter with the French books. So we'll see about that. What format is it? You know, the regular formats. I'm not going through audiobooks because none of those are old enough. I think I started with my partnership with Libro.fm in like 2020. So maybe about the same time as the channel. And Storygraph is 2021. So it's about equidistant. But I was just looking around my shelf. So we're going to keep it simple, right? No audiobooks and no ebooks. But within that, there are other formats. There's hardcover, paperback, mass market. So we'll go with those. How many pages is it? Is it a giantess? Is it a tome that is intimidating me? When was it first published? What is the pub date? Some of these have an original pub date and an edition pub date. So I put both of those. Who published it? How many words are in the title? Who knows? Maybe that influences my reading. What's the last initial of the author's name? I'm just looking for clues here. We might end up in conspiracy land. And does anyone else I know on Storygraph know about this book? So one of the features of Storygraph is that when you look up a book, on the right-hand column, it will say if anyone you follow, or are friends with has interacted with this book. If they've marked it as to read, if they are currently reading it, if they have read it, if they've rated it, etc. And yeah, that was a varying characteristic for all of these. But there are some trends. And then we're just going to go with color of the cover to make it 10. So we have 10 books and we have 10 characteristics, because why not? So this is just a silly video. The first one is going to be this, Self-Control by Mary Brunton. Book 1 in the Jane Austen library series. It's pretty big. It's pretty solid here. It's in my notes on the back. So, handsome volume for a library. It is a fiction book. It is a classic book. So those are the two genres. The provenance is my cousin once removed, Ginny. So she passed away right as I moved to Portland a few months after I settled in here. And her family sent me a box of her Jane Austen collection of books. Some of it was fan fiction. Some of it was classics. Some of it was really old, like 19th century editions. And that was really lovely. And some like journals and like movie adaptation tie-ins and really just cool stuff, because Ginny loved Jane Austen as well. She even went to Bath on a Jane Austen like holiday. I don't know if she got dressed up. That might have been her line. But you know, so you can see some correlations. We liked some of the same things. And I can see that it's still got the tag on it. So it was purchased for $3.50. This very fine volume, only $3.50. The language is English, right? I can check it's English. Look at the type here. It's quite dense. It is a hardcover. You can definitely knock on that. It is 345 pages. It was originally published in 1810. And this version is from 1999 by Revive Publishing. So it's the Jane Austen library, but you may be thinking, why is it in the library if it's by Mary Brunton? That is a good thought. That is a good skeptical thought. And Mary Brunton was a contemporary. And the reason they included it is that in one of Jane Austen's private correspondences, she said she wanted to write a book that was very like Self-Control by Mary Brunton. So it's sort of a, if you like Jane Austen, you want to read similar things to see how they compare and what the contemporary vibe was. It's just kind of fun. Is this one word or two? There's a dash. So I'm going to call it one. I wrote down two, but I think it's one. And the initial, the last name is B. We'll see if we get any repeats there. And this was interacted with nobody that I follow, according to Storygraph. So has anyone out there in the audience today heard of this book in any way, shape, or form? Let me know, or see if I retain my queenly crown for books people have never heard of. Anita is offering some advice to Catpaw for the video editing. Julie says ancient TBR. I like that designation, and I have a few of those. They're the ones I may donate when I'm in the mood to do so. Yes, and that is the title of this stream, actually. Should they stay or should they go? Some of these are definitely staying, but one or two might go. So we'll work through it together. Tyann, tip of the hat to you. Good morning or afternoon. Good afternoon. Monique, hello. Mojo, long time trying to get ahead on these books before we leave for the US in 2 months. Had to take an edit break. Oh my gosh. The back and forth. You're making me tired just thinking about it. Lauren, hello. Author E.L. Summers, nice to see you. Tyann, has never heard of it. This is going to be a hard switch. I'm an old person now, so switching from Eva to Tyann is going to be a challenge. Mojo's, nope, says Anita. And Lauren asks, how many books do you have? And it varies. Storygraph thinks I have 1,005 now because I just edited the list. I think it's more like 1,100 because there's some that aren't in there. Yeah. Kat is here. I also have an ancient TBR. One day I may get to them. Yes, one day our prince may come. Never heard of it either. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I should call my WTR Wish to Read instead, because will they be read? Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if it'll catch on, but yeah. Okay, so there's one blue cover. I'm definitely keeping this one because of the memory and significance. So we can dispense with the suspense on that one. Let's see. Let's go with this one next. This is. Should I go through the characteristics first and see if you can guess? This is a nonfiction biography nature. So it's biography that has a lot of nature observations in it, I guess, nonfiction. The provenance is Goodwill, I think. It's got a $3.50 tag on it, but it's not from Ginny. It's from either a thrift store or Goodwill. And I think it's long enough ago that the Goodwill was still open. Just down the street from me. It is in English. It is a hardcover, It is from 2002. 2002 by Viking, and it was called Viking Penguin. So the consolidation was not yet so bad. It is 268 pages. There are 4 words in the title, and the last name of the author begins with a G. And it is interacted with by nobody that I follow. It's really very hard. It's by a very famous author, but it's from before she was famous. So, yeah. And I don't think I will get to this one. I think this will be going on the pile. It's called The Last American Man by Elizabeth Gilbert. So she did a couple nonfiction. No, she did a couple fiction. Then she did this nonfiction. They were all like critically acclaimed. And then she did the nonfiction memoir, Eat, Pray, Love. But this predates that. So it doesn't have any of that claptrap on the dust jacket. So I thought it was cool that it was like before the time that she was famous. Kind of like when you get books that have covers before the movie came out. But, you know, it's Broken Spine, and every time I open it up and look, and there's Eustace Conway, and he just doesn't seem like a good person. I'm not sure why we should take away that he's the last American man, so I'm voting for this one to go off the island. But let me know if anyone has heard of it. It is a brown, deep violet. I don't know what the dust cover color is, really. Their actual cover is black, but this is like... what's it called? Not Seraglio. Sepia. Seraglio is something else. Sepia. There we go. So we have hello, Pat. Hello, Julie. Thank you, Anita. Does that make your collection a library, says Lauren? According to some people's definition, but I don't think that definition is universal. Kat says, if they'd stop making me have to work for my paycheck, I'd get to a lot more of them. Your wish to read list. Yeah, right? Julie says, yes, Kat, you're going to love retirement whenever that happens for you. Yeah. I have heard of it, Last American Man, but not read it. Oh, okay. So I put down nobody I follow, but actually one person knows about it. That's cool. Anita has not heard of it. All right. All right. Well, we're going to put this on the other pile. All right. Third book, 10 Characteristics. This genre is nonfiction plus history plus travel. One of my favorite little intersections. So history, travel, and of course that means it's nonfiction. The provenance is, I don't know, it was before I was putting tags on there, so I have no label and there's no, you know, pencil mark inside or tag on the outside for the store, so I can't remember. It is in English. It is a paperback. It is 349 pages. It is from 2011, 2012. I think it's 2011 for the Norton paperback edition. I've read the first book by this author from 1994, but this one is from 2011. Similar subject matter. There are 4 words in the title, but 10 words if you include the subtitle. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do subtitles count for number of words in the title? If you've ever done a book tag, maybe you've struggled with this question. It's immaterial. It doesn't matter, but I'm curious about your opinion. The author's last initial is C. Nobody I follow has interacted with this on Storygraph. And the cover color is a blue. I guess the dominant color is blue, but there's lots of gold leaf, if that gives you a hint. I think I will still read this one. It is Paris to the Past by Ina Caro. Now, you might have read Robert Caro, her husband. He's written a lot of books about the Balkans. Not the Baltics, the Balkans. But she is also a great writer, and I read her Road to the Past, which was about like Rome and France and like very long ago history. But this one, it was a little bit updated, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but I got it a long time ago. So she's an authority on medieval and modern French history. Yeah, Robert Caro is the acclaimed biographer. So, I mean, I guess I would call that blue because the back is blue and a lot of gold leaf. Isn't that cool? Subtitle is Traveling Through French History by Train. This would be really good for the train tag, actually, but I didn't use it for that, I don't think. So, yay, nay. I'm going to keep this one because I think I will read it. Just don't know why I haven't read it yet. C. The author's last name is C. Number of pages 349. That's not intimidating. My characteristics are perhaps not helping me arrive at a conclusion as to why these haven't been read yet, but we'll keep going to see if anything emerges. Julie says, I'm 0 for 3. Haven't heard of any of these. It will continue, my friend. This is my library. Okay, book number 4. This is nonfiction / history / sociology. The provenance is my dad's university library. So when he retired and he had to evacuate his school office, he had a lot of sociology books, a lot of textbooks, a lot of popular books, and he didn't want all of them. So I went through them and took out a few handfuls that I thought might be interesting. And I've kept maybe a handful of them. But this is one I haven't read. So that's a big clue. It's in English. It's a mass market paperback. It is 237 pages. There are 4 words in the title, but 10 in the title if you include the subtitle. But there's also 2 dates. So I don't know if you count dates as words. The author's last name starts with an S. It is interacted with by nobody I follow, and the predominant color of the cover is beige. A unique study of middle-class family life that explores an area of American culture previously unexamined, the interaction of city life, family structure, and work experience in a critical moment in history, the decades of urban development that followed the Civil War. Dun, dun, dun. My 4th book is Families Against the City by Richard Sennett, Middle-Class Homes of Industrial Chicago, 1872 to 1890. And you can see where that would be pretty perfect for like background research for the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893. But have I read it? No. Is the book out? Also no. So maybe I will still read it and write that book. Who knows? Kappa says, keep Paris to the past. Not only is it pretty, it's about history with a different angle. Yeah, very good point. I'm definitely keeping that one. Lynn says, oh, I've read several Robert Caro books, mostly about Lyndon Johnson. I didn't know his wife also wrote. Yes, I think she has mainly those 2 books, Road to the Past and Paris to the Past. So history. And he's like, another one I don't know. Sociology, urban sociology is pretty niche. Chicago book sounds interesting. Keep. Yeah, mass market paperback. Look at that. It's got tables. I'm scared of the tables. Not too many, but I think they'll be pretty readable. So, all right, we'll keep that. Put that in the keep pile. 4 books. We're gonna go with Anita. Are you gonna have heard of any of these? I think yes. There's maybe 2. Maybe 2 you will have heard of. Book number 5 is, just to get the suspense in there, it is a nonfiction that has to do with food. The provenance is, I got it from Powell's used. I still have the tag on it. It was $10.95. The tag is for 2014. So I either bought it in 2014 or it was gotten into Powell's at 2014. So around there. And $10.95. Imagine that. It is in English. It is a paperback. It is published by Marble Arch Press, which is a partnership between Atria Books in America and Short Books in the UK. So that may give you a hint as to what it's about. Again, nonfiction, food. a British and American effort. It is 277 pages. There are six words in the title. But if you count the subtitle, there are 14. That's a lot of words. The author's last name begins with F, but it is a double-barreled name. And nobody I know follows this one on Storygraph. Surprise, surprise. And the cover color is, I'm going to say pale green, because it's like green sketched on cream. So we'll go with pale green. Any guesses? This is very hard. I didn't choose characteristics based on guesses, but the subtitle is A Stately English Home Shares Its Classic Tastes. And it was funny when I was looking this up on Storygraph to see how the different marketing. This came out in the US in 2014, but it came out in the UK in 2007. And it was called The Good Granny Cookbook, something like that. But to make it in America, they branded it as like the Toff's Guide to Country Living. Recipes from an Edwardian country house. And there's the subtitle as well. I like the cover. Hugh, nope, not Hugh. That's a different double-barreled name. Jane Fernley Whittingstall. I can't remember. There's another Hugh, the nose to tail guy. If anyone knows who I'm trying to think of, let me know what the name is in the chat. But I just thought that was really cool. This was before Downton Abbey came out. And it's basically like research for writing Downton Abbey. I bet what's his face read this or had this in his library when he wrote it. The guy who wrote Downton Abbey. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool. I love historical cookbooks, as you could, probably deduce from my entertaining cookbook from Betty Crocker. But like the things people ate, what was available, what were common methods, what the holidays that were celebrated were, beans with garlic and pine nuts. Boboti. It's a South African dish. Okay, if Mike is watching this later, tell me if you've ever come across that. It says it's a South African dish. So yeah, obviously I haven't read this, but there are some fun things in there. I could tell just by looking at that one page. So why haven't I read this? And, I don't know what you would call the color, but that's like a shade of green over cream. So what do you think? Should I keep that one? I want to go buy old books now. Yeah, they're all pretty old here. I've been nursing my current read all month. I don't need more books in a big way. Yes, the eyebrow waggle was fun. Still at 0 on books. Okay, well, Anita at least might be interested in this one because you do Victorian historical fiction, and this is Edwardian. You might have Edwardian. I think you do. Are your detectives Edwardian or Victorian? I can't remember now. Hugh is fun. What's his name? He used to be on UK TV quite a bit in the 90s, noughties. Is it her? Is it a relation of hers? Is it her husband? Fernley Whittingstall? Is he the one who did the nose to tail pig cooking book? Or the River House cooking? There's something that I was... Okay, they are related. Maybe they're married. I don't know. But yeah, they're both in food, apparently. Maybe they're not together. I don't know. If anyone knows the marital status of this couple with the same name, let me know. But I'm going to keep that because I think that's going to be fun to like flip through. I've been going through magazines and cookbooks recently to like try to stir up fresh, healthy cooking ideas for inspiration, and historical cooking would be just as good for that. So, and also educational and also possibly inspirational for stories. Who knows? Okay. We're going to do... Oh. We're going to do this one next. Oof. These are heavy ones. Okay, so why haven't I read this one yet? This is a nonfiction that is about history. This is, I think, The Provenance is another read-through where I worked. looking at the handwriting of the price, but I'm not sure because it doesn't say ART on it. $7.50. So obviously I got this used. Have had it for a long time. Have not read it. It's in English. It's published in 1998 from Harvard University Press. It was a New York Times notable book of 1995, the back is telling me. It's 389 pages. It's paperback. I didn't say that or write it down, but it's floppy. There are 4 words in the title. It's a very generic title. And the last name of the author starts with P. There is one person on Storygraph who has actually followed this book, or person I follow who has interacted with this book, I should say. No one on the call. So the cover color is predominantly green and gold. It's sort of half and half, so I can't really divide it up. The answer is River Cottage. It is Hugh Fernley Whittingstall. Okay, so they're both like food writers. That's cool. Okay, they are Victorian, the steampunk detectives. You might be her son. Oh, okay. Jane. I don't know. That's good. Tyann says, floppy, new way I'm categorizing my library. Yes, I like the organizing videos of all the organizing books. It's fun. This one is London, A Social History by Roy Porter. I don't know if any of you have read Roy Porter. He's kind of like a big book author. Other books by English Society in the 18th Century, Disease Medicine Society in England, A Social History of Madness, Health for Sale, Quackery in England. So he's got sort of a wide range, I see, from 1550 to 1850. But this one is not limited by date. This is the history, social history of the city of London, which I thought would be really cool, but haven't broken into it. As you can see, the back is gold, the spine is green, the front is green and gold. Like, I don't know what to call this cover. But yeah, one person had said Ms. Mouse wants to read this book. That's as close as we got. Someone else has this on their TBR. I don't know if they own it, but yeah, you know, like a nice reading book. It's got pictures, it's got spacing, it's got, you know, little maps, a little bit. So it's textbook size. So I think that's probably what has made me reluctant to sit down with it, is that I can't curl up with it. It's kind of big. But it's right up my alley. I do like social histories. The first modern one-volume history of London from Roman times to the present. London grew from a backwater in the classical age into an important medieval city, a significant Renaissance urban center, and a modern colossus. In this transcendent book, Roy Porter touches the pulse of his hometown and makes it our own, capturing London's fortunes, people, and imperial glory with brio and wit. Now that is a word you don't hear every day. Brio. I only think of that as a musical term, con brio. So that's cool. That's going in the keep pile. Julie says, yes, Jane is Hugh's mother. Ah, okay. Thank you. It's a mystery, and it's now solved. Thank you. So that's interesting. I thought they must have had different names. And River Cottage. Is that the one that I had? I had a book for a while that was like a really pretty British sustainability. It was a young man with a family. And he had a double-barreled name. I think it was someone different. Anyway, we'll never know. Anita says, another no for reading, though I may have vaguely seen it somewhere. Roy Porter, I think, is a pretty big name. So you may have seen him like canvassing research leads and such. I've definitely seen the London book before. Aha! Laura says, yes. And Cat Boss says, I want that London book, but in physical form, not ebook. You want it in floppy form. Oh, man. It's funny because floppy to me means that sound, but, you know, floppy disks don't make that sound. Another millennial illogical thing. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was book 6. We got 4 more. Got to come up with a little smaller book here. This is fiction, but it could also be considered a classic or a play. There's actually more than one play in here. Actually, let me just check, because when I looked on Storygraph, it said 2 different dates. Let me see if the beginning says. Let me look it up on Wikipedia. Because that will tell me the original publication. Oh, it is the earlier one. Okay. All right. So this one is a play. It's also a classic. It's Provenance. I think I got this in France, and I think I got it on the trip in 2016, the last time I was there 10 years ago. It says 2 on the first page, so I think that would be €2. And it is in French. It's a folio edition. Folio is the publisher. And it was originally published in 1921. The Italian version in this publisher's house was 1958. The French translation was 1977. And this edition was printed in 1987. So the original was 1921. And it was in Italian, but I have it in French, and it's a play, and I guess is there. It's 250 pages, which includes, as I said, another play, like a very short one. Well, about the same size, actually. 250 pages. There are 6 words in the title, maybe, depending on how you count. And the last name of the author begins with a P. P. Originally Italian from 1921. It's a play. Anyone have a guess? It's pretty famous. Nobody I follow has interacted with this book on Storygraph, and the cover is predominantly white because Folio always does white backs and spines, and there's a illustration on the front. But I couldn't find this illustration on Storygraph, so I don't have the correct cover. And in fact, when I went through these 10 books, they must have changed their editions algorithm, because the one that I saved early on is the one that has like missing information, no publisher, no date, all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to go through my whole library and change each edition, because then I won't be able to sort it as oldest added and see what I had earlier. So that makes me kind of sad. That's annoying. So there we go. Can anyone guess? It's a smaller book. It's a mass market paperback. I forgot to say the format. Lynn says, an excellent book to check out about Islamic architecture for architecture fans is Stealing from the Saracens by Diana Dark. Okay. All right. Catpaw says the really old 8-inch floppies made a similar sound. Ancient person here, LOL. They must not have had like the outer casing. It must just have been like the tape and some other kind of casing then. I can't picture it. And says the book shows how the likes of Christopher Wren was heavily influenced. Oh, okay. That's the relation. So Islamic architecture heavily influenced some of the major architects of London. Gotcha. Thank you for explaining. Laura got it. Pirandello. Okay. Good detective work, Laura. Okay, so is it absurdist? Is it modernist? It's somewhere in between there. This is it Luigi or Luis? No, Luigi Pirandello's 6 characters in search of an author. In French, that is 6 personnages en quête d'auteur. So I don't know if you count d'auteur as 2 words or 1, because it's D apostrophe. I don't know. I counted it as 1 when I said. No, I counted it as 2. I don't know. I don't know how you count that. If we said can't for cannot, I would say can't is 1 word. So, I don't know. Do French people consider d'auteur to be 1 word? The jury is out. But yeah, I haven't read it. I got rid of a lot of my, aspirational French library that I had accrued over the years because I was like, I'm not going to read these 17th century plays on my own. Of course, this one has all sorts of like French notes on it, which, yeah, definitely got it in the bouquinistes and the little quarter-old books. So I just kept a few of the ones that I thought, oh no. Googled. How did you Google it? Italian playwright 1920s? That's all you had to go on. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think that's the only page that's written on, maybe. So what made me remember that maybe I got it in France is that it's like written in the front is someone from Nantes. And I don't know how else that would have gotten to Portland. Kathleen Cowley, IEE. That sounds like actually someone who studied in an international English program. 7 rue des Cadeniers, Nantes. Roberge Laurie? I don't know. I can't read it, but yeah, so I'm hanging on to this one. Has anyone read 6 Characters in Search of an Author? If it's truly absurdist, I'm not going to get along with it, and maybe that was why I was reluctant again. I can't do like a challenge to read the 10 oldest because I would absolutely not read any of them because that's how my brain works. But I don't know if anyone has read this or like seen the play. Give me thoughts because I don't know. I want to. Still a no on reading, says Anita. Love a book with notes in, says Laura. That is exactly how she Googled it. That's hilarious. 1921 Italian play. Oh my gosh, you guys are smart. I do that too when other people are streaming and I'm like, ooh, what's the detail? Just like Pat, I'm book chat with Pat. She will get the deets, the facts, and share them with everybody. It's fun. Okay, so that's 7. And now we're gonna see a repeat. Okay, so this is a repeat of an author. See if you can remember the earlier 7 books and see if you can determine which one this is. Okay, so this is historical fiction. I don't know the provenance because I don't recognize the pencil price on the first page, but I did get this used at some point for $9.25. It is in English. It is a paperback. It is from Penguin. Storygraph has this as Riverhead, but it is not from Riverhead because there is no Riverhead branding. It's definitely Penguin everywhere on this book. It's 499 pages, so just under 500. There are 5 words in the title. The last name of the author starts with a G. And 9 people have interacted with this on my Storygraph that I follow. So definitely a more popular book, just different from everyone before. Some of the people have even read it. I think there are 2 4-star reviews, people that I follow on Storygraph. And the cover is black. That might help Anita. Historical fiction. I don't know if you've read this one, Anita, but I'm pretty sure you might have seen it. $499 pages. It's quite long. It is quite, it's got quite small margins, and the print is fine, but the line spacing seems to be a bit abbreviated. Any guesses? Julie says also, brio means energy, liveliness, and confidence. Yes. But I love it when someone takes a word that we don't use in common parlance and like drops it in a review or something like that. I love it. Yes. Elizabeth Gilbert's The Signature of All Things. Does that ring a bell? Anybody? A really pretty cover. So I love Eat, Pray, Love. I have not read The Last American Man, but this is her fiction that followed her memoir that was very famous. And so it's had a lot of pressure on it. It was a New York Times bestseller. It's like, was it 1700s? 1800. Born in 1800, the daughter of a charismatic botanical explorer, Alma comes into her own within the world of plants and science, but her research takes her deeper into the mysteries of evolution, and she falls in love with a man who draws her in the opposite direction, into the realm of the spiritual, the divine, and the magical. So it just seems like really cool themes, really detailed historical context, and I wanted to see how she wrote fiction, but I haven't picked it up. I have a lot of historical fiction that I haven't picked up. What do you think, guys? Deprioritize? Pass it on? Give it a try. Laura gets it. Yes, again, have not read it. Yet another book I have not read, but a pretty cover. Yeah, it is a pretty cover. So like early 19th century, all of like the plants and like the black, different kind of cover. I liked it. I think this is just one of those ones that is like aspirational. I don't know. I think I would be better served to read other books instead. That's all. Okay, so we'll pass on. That was number 8. We have 2 more. We've got this one. This is a nonfiction concerning food. It's not a cookbook, though. I think I got this at the bookstore, again, where I worked. Another read-through, but cannot confirm because it's just pencil. It doesn't say ART. Neither of these were from Backstory, and none of these were from Backstory because I got these before I started going to Backstory, the place where I get all the credit for selling back books. So it was $10. It's in English. It's a big floppy paperback again. It's the same size as the London one about. It's 296 pages, and it's published in 2011 by Story Publishing, Storey, if you know the vibe of Story. There are 3 words in the title, but if you count the subtitle, there's 14. Yeah. The author's last name starts with the C, I think, but there's 3 names, and they're not hyphenated. So I'm making the assumption the second is her middle name, even though it doesn't sound like a middle name. Anyway, nobody I follow had interacted with this book, and the cover is multicolor. I'm going to go with beige, brown, I guess. No one's going to know this one. Julie says, I'm currently 0 for 8. Haven't heard of any of your books. Yes, yeah. See The Crown? The Crown is still here. Yeah, Queen of Books you've never heard of. This is just my vibe. Hello, Gareth. Welcome, welcome. Cat Paw says, I don't think we're connected on Storygraph, but I'm plain Ellis on there. Okay. Yeah, that would change my whole statistics. And hello, Gareth. Awesome. Okay, so no one's going to guess this one. It's one I've been meaning to read, and I've picked up a couple times and started, but I haven't ever like read it through. Now, it's kind of a textbooky kind of thing. Lots of pictures, but like short articles. It's called Reclaiming Our Food. The subtitle is How the Grassroots Food Movement is Changing the Way We Eat. The author is Tanya Dankla Cobb. So what would you say is the first initial of the last name? Is it C? Or did I lead you astray? I don't know. I think it's probably just a really high quality book, which is why I haven't given it up. But I'm wondering if it's like all out of date because it's from 2011. It's 15 years ago. I don't know. I think it would still be inspiring and good knowledge. I'm going to see a lot of crossover actually from one of my current reads. So the current read is called Drawdown, and there's like all the different ways that we, the people, will need to attack climate change's mitigation and adaptation. And I feel like this is like one of the main categories. So I should probably keep that. What's going to get me to read this though? The motivation. I don't know, guys. That was book number 9. Looks interesting, but not read that one either. I think this is for the food book, timing wise. Okay, so that was book 9. And then the last one, which has some water damage because of a kitchen incident. This is a nonfiction that's also memoir, that's also travel. So all those three combined. That's another intersection I really like. I used to be really into it when I thought I would do travel writing myself. That's probably when I got this, but I have not read it, and obviously didn't go down that path. The provenance for this one is very obvious because look what is still in the book. Borders receipt. It is from 2011. 15-year-old receipt, ladies and gentlemen. 2011, and a lot of these books had 80% off, 90% off promos, which is why we loved Borders. You know? 2011. Can you imagine? I don't know which one this was. Arlington, Virginia. And why was I in Virginia in 2011? Oh, this is just before I moved away. Okay. Do I have any of the others of these books? Thousand Peace Smells, India Black, Lady Vernon, Smell of Death, Language of Bees. I don't think so. I think I read most of the others and then gave them away. Isn't that crazy, though? I'm sure you guys have books that still have the receipts in them, right? Okay, so that's the provenance. Borders 2011. I got this book for $1.50, and it was new. That is how crazy the book world was in 2011. It's in English. It's a paperback. It's published by Penguin. It's 282 pages. There are 3 words in the title, although there are 17 words if you include the subtitle. It's kind of long. The last name of the author begins with a K, although this is also kind of tricky. There's 3 names and there's 2 authors. So I picked the name that is in common between the 2 authors. If you know the book, that might give it away, but it begins with a K. And 2 people on Storygraph have interacted with this book that I follow. So it's possible you might have seen it. And the cover is mainly red. Does that say anything to anybody? All right. Garrett says, I'm skimming the early bit, and I have read London: A Social History by Roy Porter. It's really good. Okay. It's in the keep pile. So that's another good vote. All right. Oh, Borders. Yeah. Barnes & Noble's still around. I hate when you find the receipt, but it's so old. It's faded. Yeah. They're heat treated, right? So sometimes you can like turn it to the light and see the like white on white writing, basically. I've had to do that for some of the tax receipts that I've gone through. There's no special light or anything, but just like squinting and turning it to the light. Yeah. But yeah, the fading is real on the heat treated receipts. So anybody? I've talked about this one before. It was in other thumbnails. Sneaky. Okay, so the 2 authors are Sue Monk Kidd and Ann Kidd Taylor. Do those names ring any bells? Definitely wasn't as popular as her fiction. So Sue Monk Kidd is a big fiction author, and I think it's her mother or her daughter, Ann Kidd Taylor. It would be her daughter. A mother and daughter journey to the sacred places of Greece, Turkey, and France. And of course, I've been to all those places. So I thought it would be a really cool read. And I got it. And I just haven't read it. I sort of dropped out of the travel reading when I stopped traveling so much, I guess. And now it's also like water damaged. So it's kind of hard to turn the pages and stuff. But boom. Traveling with Pomegranates. I don't know if anyone remembers me talking about this before. I've had it on TBRs and stuff for readathons, but I never picked it up. But it's got a pretty cover. And I liked The Secret Life of Bees, which is the Sue Monk Kidd book that got really popular. So you figure it would be about a subject that I like, about a place that I've been, by an author that I like their writing. Why haven't I read it? I mean, 2011, 15 years. I still haven't read it. What's the deal, yo? What's going to get me to read that book? Hello, Laura. Welcome. Tyann says, I relocated to my library to start cataloging. Thanks for that motivation. Aha! There we go. And I'm sure you'll probably be looking at maybe the publisher or the color of the cover, or I don't know. What else was I covering? Some of these characteristics that were kind of silly. Kara says, isn't it funny that Roy was auto-corrected into Rory? Is it an Irish keyboard? No, because then it would be Roiri with an accent. But yeah. I guess Gareth's on his phone. Laura says there's so much writing on that cover. This one? Yeah, there is a lot. I mean, it's pretty. It's only like half, but there is a lot of writing with different fonts. So New York Times bestseller, Sue Monk Kidd and Kid Taylor, author of The Secret Life of Bees, traveling with pomegranates, and then the subtitle. Yeah, there's a lot of writing. This is what we try not to do on a thumbnail, right, everyone? Michael tell us that's not good practice. But what's gonna make me read that book? Kara says, I remember you talking about that pomegranate book before. And Kapla says, I've read the Bee book a long time ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Because 2011, she comes out with this, so it must have been like 10 years before 2000 or so that came out. Laura says, I'm starting a TBR takedown series. I rolled and okay, so it's like a tabletop game. I rolled and got my first book to read from my bookshelves. I have so many. That's nice. I was just watching Rachel's video this morning. She has an Uno game and there's rolling involved because there's like a dragon portion where rolling. Part of it is Uno cards and part of it is rolling a dice. Anyway, yeah. So that's fun. You organize people. Anita says, I've not read any of these books. Some of them looked good though. Well, if you look on my Storygraph, owned, oldest added, there they will be. Yeah. Hey, Leslie. The title is smaller text compared to everything else. Yeah, it's yellow. So the titles of the books are in yellow. So there's some sort of logic to it, but they wanted to say too much. I think that's the lesson. Great idea. Yeah. TBR takedown. The problem is like the TBR is probably like 450 books. So if I tried to aim at that many books, I would just shut down. That's just too many. But if I can have like a project or a buddy read or a game, I don't know. Like the games haven't really enticed me to do all that work, especially the ones where they have their own like game of life level detail for the play. I get totally lost in that. I think mine is 337. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think I can't remember where I got that statistic, but I remember looking at something recently that said my unread of owned was like 45%. So I had slightly more read than unread in my library, which is good, I think. I don't know. Are you trying to unhaul a bunch of books? I've been doing the same. It's hard. Yes, you had a whole lot of videos in the last several months about doing that. I'm not specifically trying to unhaul for any project, but I'm trying to keep up with my purchases. So, you know, the piles on the tables are always the moving parts. But if you discount those, the rest of it actually fits on the shelves that I have. So that's what I'm trying to be mindful of, like read it down, because if I get more space on the shelves, then I have more room to decorate. And really a lot of these books, not a lot, maybe 10%, 5% of these books I will read and then let go. And so that's what I'm aiming for. Kapla says, I need to add the rest of my books to Storygraph. Ooh, that's ooh, brother, ooh. All right, I'm memeing out here. Tyann says, I have an entire room for the chaos, but sometimes I avoid it so long it's less cozy, warm library and more. Is there a spider in there? Yeah, you know what's funny is when you were explaining in one of your videos that like you used to live in the basement and the upstairs was like the abyss, and then you moved upstairs and now the basement is the abyss. or whatever word you used. And I was like, oh, that's funny. It's hard to manage that much space, I'm sure. Dara says, that's my motivation. I would rather keep them all, but I can't. I need to give the house a breathing space. Yeah. You know who I was surprised to see the shape of their library was Ven. Ven just did a tag about filming day where he went into detail about his filming process, which is basically like a tutorial for Streamlabs. It was very well done. But in it, he like pans around the room and you see his wall of bookshelves. It is like this, and it is wall-to-wall books. There is no decoration. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed. It's very organized and very clean and tidy, and yeah. I didn't realize the thing that was just behind his head went like the whole walls of the room, which was fun to see. Diane says, yes, this house is too big and downsizing is so much work for the same cost these days. Totally get it. Yep. We thought our family was larger, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Laura says, what is the pale blue book above your head, top right? It's so pretty. Are you talking about this one? Because that's a card, not a book. I decorate with greeting cards, and this one is from one of my good friends. It's a Trader Joe's greeting card. Ta-da! It's hiding my writing dice and my reader roulette. So apropos of Laura's gaming idea, those are my tools and they're hidden. So I forgot they were there. Yes, damn. Yeah, it is very pretty. So Trader Joe's has really good cards. What can I say? And they're all 99 cents. Can't beat it. Especially because cards have just ticked up. They're like, there are no cards below $4 nowadays. $5 is pushing it. I usually see nice cards being $6, $7. And I'm like, seriously? Seriously? It's a card. It's 2 pages of paper. And IP, of course. But like, Jesus. Diane says, I decorate with postcards I receive, which are at least 50% from Margaret. I love it. I love it. Do you do like the string of things? And I just decorated this with like scraps of paper. I don't know. It doesn't really come out clearly because there's so much going on, but I like doing little crafty things and letting it sit. I don't know. It looked like a Jane Austen reissue or something. Yeah, it kind of does. I've been looking for a reissue or a good edition that I like, that's pretty, that has nice inside, not too thin and not too big and not like crazy writing, for Pride and Prejudice, because I realized I do not have a copy of Pride and Prejudice. I think I have it in 3 volumes, but I don't want to read it in 3 volumes. So I'm looking for a nice, modern, readable, pretty Pride and Prejudice. And I've seen like 4 or 5 versions and none of them is cutting it. So maybe I'll just stick that on the cover of one of them. Who knows? How many books have you got? I'm doing a recount this weekend. According to Storygraph, it's 1,005, but I think it's more like 1,100 because not all of this is in there. And that's not counting inventory. That's just like other people's books. Diane says, I'm going to make a gallery wall of tiny art. Not super tiny, or not all super tiny, but postcard sized, because small wall. You want to talk small wall? I have so little wall space, and it's fine because it's window space instead, which gives you light. So I'm not going to complain about it. But when I think about where to put the clock and where to put the calendar, there's like limited options. We were just talking, my mom and I were just talking about hooks on the wall, and the fact that I have a hook on a wall this big between the kitchen and the laundry closet. And that's where I put my apron on the hook, and how that used to be a thing, but like no one has those anymore in the modern kitchen. But I do like hooks. I like hooks a lot. So yeah, wall space at a premium around here. 4 USD, and people complain about paying that for an ebook. Yeah. When I go to the post office and there's a long line, and so I have nothing to do but read the greeting cards, like it's like $3.95 for like the cheapest ones. Yeah, that's a good point to compare the two, I guess. I never thought about it that way. Julie says, I have 344 physical books right now. Most are unread. Did you count them recently? How do you have that number in your head? It's very organized. Good memory. Ceiling gallery. What? That means I'd have to get the cobwebs off. Ceiling. Well, actually, you'd have to avoid the sprinklers and the lamps. The lights, I should say. There's 3 lights. Ceiling gallery. How would you do that? I want to see that on a video. Tyann, you can show me that in a video on TikTok. That'd be fun. Garrett says to Julie, I think it's good to have mostly unread. You can't reread thousands of books. Yeah, and you'll probably end up rereading the same handful anyway, right? Tyann says, I have strong hooks on my fridge too. Oh, so magnetic ones. Wait, are they magnetic? To hang the oven mitts and tongs and things. Oh, yeah, strong magnetic hooks. Okay, so here's my thing with magnetic hooks and fridges. Many new fridges no longer have magnetic metal. They're still metal or plastic, but they're no longer magnetic. Mine is, but many people's are not. My sister's isn't, and it drives me crazy. The sides are magnetic, so you have like a little strip to do your postcards and you know, save the dates. But the front is all non-magnetic. And I'm like, they're obviously sabotaging us. They want us to have plain beige, soulless kitchens. It's gross. I wish everyone had more magnetic surfaces to use magnets because I like them. Julie says, I keep an Excel spreadsheet of all my books. Nerd. Oh, well, Jim does that, and I think Mike might do that as the Excel nerd, so you are not alone. Laura says, oh, I haven't had a picture on my ceiling since I was 10. Yeah, well, I guess like the movie star posters would probably fit in that category. I don't think I ever put stuff on my ceiling because my ceiling is plaster. It's not finished when I was a kid. So if I put something in it, it would probably fall out and like dust. In this one, it's like a textured spray. It's very rudimentary. So I think the same thing would probably happen. So I wouldn't want to pin anything in there. That's what I'm making. Excel spreadsheet? Is that what you're saying? I have only just opened Excel. Oh, nice. Oh, really? That's wild. The magnetic thing. I have some magnetic doors in my house too. Some exterior ones. Oh, see, this is what I got cut out on. They replaced my door without my, say so. And no longer was it white. And now it's black. So it's absorbing more heat, but it's also not magnetic. So I can't hang my like little Christmas decoration from it. And I'm still annoyed. Still salty about that. Some exterior ones. So these hooks are handy when you want them. I got them from Harbor Freight about a decade ago. I'm assuming you got the hooks from Harbor Freight, not the doors. Because my interior doors are hollow core doors, and I don't like them. And my exterior door is non-magnetic, so I don't like it either. I wish it was back the way it was before, where it was magnetic and it was white. But they changed both my front and my back doors. I do not approve of a non-magnetic fridge. Thank you. Agree. Tan says, I just found some magnets the other day of little fruits. Oh, cute. Like my brain instantly remembered that's all magnets used to be. Yeah, they've gotten really creative. I like the range, I suppose. I have a lot of really different ones. This sounds like it's going to turn into a tag. We did bookmarks. I did my whole bookmark collection. I could go through my whole magnet collection. Nerd, as Julie said. Laura says, I just remembered I have 4 framed artworks I can hang on my wall. Nice. That's very nice. Tan says, found at the shop. I bought them. I'll add to a video for sure. You're talking about the magnet hooks, not the ceiling stuff, right? Okay. Yes, the hooks from Harbor Freight. Okay, got it. I also don't love my interior doors. I know. There's a place nearby that is a, I don't know what to call it. It's like a thrift store for building materials. So there's appliances, there's doors, there's hardware, there's lamps, there's like plumbing fixtures, all this kind of stuff. which is great because it doesn't go to the landfill and it's completely working. So it's like, why not have someone else use it at a much lower price? And I've gone through the doors, but like I haven't ever measured with actual intention of replacing my bedroom door and the bathroom door. I only have 2. But I might. Who knows? Laura says, have you seen the magnetic cassette? Wouldn't that be awesome if I got new doors? That'd actually be pretty cool. Laura says, have you seen the magnetic cassette players for fridges? 1 song per insert. No. What is that? Per insert. Magnetic cassette players for fridges. I'm very perplexed by this. I need a I need a link. Let's see. Add as moderator. Okay. Here we go. I counted my doors once and knew then I'd never replace them. Oh my gosh. Yeah. If there's a lot. I mean, maybe you have one special door. Like the door the children cannot pass, for example. Mojo says, okay, time for me to go night-night. Try to catch you again. Thanks for being here. Good luck with the editing. Diane says, what about magnetic strip on the front of the bookshelves on those little shelf edges? Possible. I used to have magnetic strip, maybe from college, and I had little circles where you could post very light things. That would have fit here. And it was just cushy tape on the back, like the kind you pull off and stick on. I could, but then it would cover the books. So I'm trying to do only things you can see through, you know, like this is pushing it. The thermometer is pushing it. And just in case no one's noticed this, I'm going to read it out because I think it's a great quote and it's in French. So there's a stationery that I got in high school that I still have. And I think I wrote this in high school too. Un journal a écrit que ce qui manque aux jeunes, c'est une bonne guerre. Ce qui ne nous apprend rien sur les jeunes, mais en dit long sur les vieux. From Romain Gary. And what it says is a newspaper wrote that what is missing from the youth is a good war, which tells us nothing about the youth, but tells us a lot about the old folks, the old people. A good war. I just thought that was really a money quote, if you will. Laura says, I just mentally counted my interior doors. I had no idea I had that many. How funny, right? So many doors. So weird. Oh, that's really funny. I have fewer windows than doors by a pretty big margin. That's weird. That's weird to me. Huh. Okay. You asked for current reads. Oh, yes. I'll wrap up with current reads. That's a good reminder. I'm listening to The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. And gosh, I'm loving this book. Awesome. Early pandemic, Minneapolis, George Floyd protests. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize it was so contemporary. I know it was recently published, but the 2 that I've read from Louise Erdrich were set in like the 70s, 80s. Wow, she caught right up. Amazing. Cool. Great quote. Thank you, Gareth. All right, so quick current reads. This is the most recent one I started. It's called Sacred Economics by Charles Eisenstein. And I'm already seeing crossover between this and what was it? Oh, I know. It was a Trevor Noah podcast. I had never heard of Asma Khan, but she is an Indian chef. She's been on some TV shows. She has a successful restaurant in London, and she was on the Trevor Noah podcast, What Now, with Trevor Noah and Eugene. And they're 2-hour-long podcasts, so they do require an investment, but their people are usually really good. And Asma Khan was on there talking about food and how you need to see the people who make your food because it's a gift. And this is starting with the gift economy and how economics is assuming the wrong things. It's really good. I've only read the first chapter. Just started it, but very interested. Still plugging away at 21 Things You May Not Know About the Indian Act by Bob Joseph. About halfway through. almost halfway through. This is a really hard one. I'm only reading 1 or 2 at a time, and there's 21 because they're just really, it's like writing about crimes committed against people, and it's just not fun. Stuff but like you didn't know the details or the language, and yeah, it's not fun, but I'm making my way through it. This is the one I was talking about that would have a lot of overlap with Reclaiming Our Food, and I'm past halfway. I started a long time ago, Drawdown, and the most comprehensive plan ever proposed to reverse global warming, edited by Paul Hawken. It's like a big facts and figures book, and it's basically telling all the different strategies that we need to press go on, all the different sectors, what they can do, and how much they would take out of the carbon budget, and where that puts them in the ranking of how important a contribution they would have to taking the carbon budget down to 0. So that's good. I got back into that. I've been chipping away at that. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then the last one is another number book, 32 Words for Field, which I already discussed. Monica and Megan. It's Irish language, evocative place stuff. And I'm finding this is not like a spin through read either. I have to read this 1 or 2 short chapters at a time because it's so dense, the concepts he's flying through. So I sort of let it sit for a little bit. So I'm reading several books a little bit at a time, like a little dipper bird. So that's why it's moving so slowly. But next Wednesday, I will have another Wednesday wrap up, and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 books, hopefully 6 for Wednesday. Tyann says, what do you track on your spreadsheet? Just title and author? Asking Julie. Oh, yeah. Let's hear Julie. Leslie says, Eugene cracks me up. He's interesting. I think he often just sort of goes off the rails, and, if it's a serious topic, maybe it needs to lighten the mood, but sometimes I'm annoyed that like he goes off with these weird like spoofs. Julie says to Tyann, column headers are title, author, genre, edition, publisher, format, read, comments. Good luck. That's a good range. That's pretty like sparse, like a good range. I don't think you need to keep how many words are in the title or the initial of the last initial of the author. That's just for fun. Catpaw said, not read much this week because phone decided to no longer recognize the SD card. Fixed it yesterday. Oh, well, I'm glad you fixed it. What an annoying thing to have to do. I'm glad you got it fixed. Yay. Happy reward. Good vibes. Anita says, my current read is Breeze, Spells, and Bridegrooms, a queer historical fantasy romance. Breeze Spells. That's hard to say, for one, but it also makes me curious what kind of magic it is. That's interesting. I've never heard that. Tyann says, thank you so much. That sounds fun. The title, I think, yeah, I agree. I want to add page count too. I'll have to look up some genres for sure. Sweet. Anyone else have current reads? Man, I don't know how I'm going to read through these. I only had 2 of those 10 that I'm going to let go of. The other 8. They're giving me bombastic side eye. Does everyone understand where that comes from? I'm not sure if everyone has seen the meme or heard it. So if you need me to explain, I put the source in the description. So on TikTok, on Instagram, there was these short videos where you can take audio from someone else and put it together with a short video that makes a comic whatever. And this one had taken the voice of someone trying out different phrases. And one of them was bombastic side eye. And it just sort of lands with this big musical thump. And then it's basically people who are side-eyeing you. So it became a trend. It went viral. But I wanted to just point out someone sourced the original voice. And it's nice when you have the name, Cynthia Masi. And I think she's Nigerian. So I didn't want to erase the person whose voice it originally was, even though she doesn't seem to have like latched on to the viral meme or anything. She's just sort of a personality who does stuff on socials. So yeah. Let's see. Others include the where and when the book was acquired. Yeah, I do that on my storygraph. No, I had to Google bombastic. Yeah, it's just the way she said it was really funny. And of course, people have attached all sorts of people, faces, animals, making side eye. Huskies are especially good at this. But I put a seal up because it was the first one that came up in Canva. Or sea lion. It could be sea lion. I'll take it from Julie. Gara says, I know it's not your style, but I'm reading a light romp sci-fi book called Space Brooms about a young cleaner who gets a bounty on him. Mean he's being hunted? Space Brooms. That's fun. Who was talking about a sci-fi classic? Someone I was just watching was talking about a classic. I can't remember now. I need to slow down. Slow down. All right. Well, I've gone way over the hour, so thank you for sticking with me, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I hope this was fun to guess and, see some strange books that maybe you have never encountered before from all different genres, because I am an eclectic reader and also the queen of books you've never heard of. So hopefully that was fun, and you may have caught some that are interesting, and you can drop them in your own wish list or whatever. But until next week, when I do a wrap up, have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. And resist, I guess. Yeah, that's my tagline now. Have you read Ken Liu's short story, The Cleaners? To go with Space Brooms. That's funny. That's cute. Thanks for being here too. Yeah, it's humorous and action-packed. The Cleaners. Nice. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care and happy reading.